We're GrowKnow, a small company that seeks to provide schools and teachers interested in urban gardening with basic kits and resources necessary to launch their own garden.
Through some of our travel experiences abroad, we became interested in urban gardening and farming. We saw how urban farms build community and transform unused spaces in urban areas. We knew it was particularly influential in Berlin and how it had been growing in Detroit. So, without much more than a common interest, we decided to visit the gardens in Detroit and see where and how we could contribute.
We visited Michigan Urban Farming Initiative, MUFI, in Detroit and talked to employees and workers there. We thought we could provide a product for them that could help their operations. These gardens come from a grassroots movement, and there's a do-it-yourself spirit that relies on using recycled consumer products and their found objects. So instead, we proceeded with Chris and my previous designs to create a scrapbox-esque garden table to sell to MUFI and other initiatives.
This is the business model canvas for our garden table.
While the gardens appreciated our design, we realized because these organizations were really trying to keep their costs low, relying mostly on found objects, they weren't really our target customer. So we asked the farm what type of visitors they received and what they were interested in. They told us they receive about 20 calls or emails a week from school teachers or faculty that are interested in starting a garden for educational or sustainable reasons at their own school. MUFI noted that, like us, there are many people who are interested in urban farming who aren't quite sure how to participate. So that's the question we decided to answer.
This is a flowchart that shows a series of pivots we went through to get to our final product. Like Cam mentioned, we realized that MUFI had no interest in our table. So we talked to people at Eastern Market in Detroit and found that there's a lack of information about where to find urban gardens. We also found out from MUFI that there's a lack of knowledge about urban gardening available to people who are interested. This is where we decided to put all our efforts into and outsprung GrowKnow.
This is our most recently updated BMC for GrowKnow. GrowKnow kits are kits for teachers to easily start and incorporate a community garden in their school. We will provide a guide and a teacher handbook that will show the teachers how to integrate this into their lesson plans and teach the students about fresh food, sustainability, community building, and biology concepts. We will also provide the students with inexpensive take-home kits that they can later expand by purchasing add-on components.
This is a brief run-through of our business model canvas. Our key partners are the teachers and the schools, who will make up the majority of our customer segment. Our key activities will be contacting and building relationships with schools and teachers, as well as building the kits. The main resources we will be using are raw materials and labor. All our efforts are aimed towards creating a friendly and interactive forum and community for teachers and students to collaborate and share ideas. Therefore, we want to provide a low-cost but sustainable design for a kit that can be sold individually or in bulk. We based our design off of existing kits we have seen in the market. What will set us apart, however, is the community and knowledge sharing space that we will create.
As for the pricing of our educational kits, we decided to stop by a hydroponics store to look at what the prices were of kits going for nowadays. So a basic one, which would be $30, and then we have a more advanced one, which was $55, and that included different layers of soils and seeds and fertilizers. Our first experiment and our final design was to validate our idea of infographic instructions rather than the current text-based instructions on the seed packets and kit guide. So this was the original seed packet with the text-based instructions, and this is the new seed packet with the infographic-based instructions with the ruler over here.
Here's one response of our participants after they ran their experiment.
Which packet was easier to follow?
The white one? Yeah.
The
I
one
didn't even
that
look at the yellow one actually, to be honest.
What made it easier?
There were diagrams and legitimate instructions, and it gave us a measuring tool to our disposal.
Okay. Nice.
For another experiment, we wanted to gauge the interest of school teachers and faculty in regard to urban gardening and the role they would like it to play in their classroom. So we drafted up a short survey with a few questions about who the teachers were, the age of their students, what they taught. We also asked them how they would like to incorporate urban gardening into their schools. For example, whether they wanted to include gardening in the classroom curriculum, or if they were interested in starting gardening as an after-school project. We found the majority of the teachers who responded were interested in gardening and thought it was a beneficial educational tool for teaching both science and nutrition, as well as a fun way of getting kids excited about healthy eating and providing access to locally grown produce. The teachers were not necessarily interested in taking on big projects, but were looking for some way to incorporate gardening into their lesson plans.
This is GrowKnow.